The U.S. men, they concluded their group stage campaign at the Olympics with a 3-0 win over Guinea and Saint-Etienne. Mihailović with a free kick, and then Kevin Paredes with 2 lovely goals. The U.S. off to the knockout stages of an Olympics for the first time since 2000 when they were led by Landon Donovan. That's before our producer today, Kyla Morris, was born. They will face Morocco Friday at the Parc des Princes in Paris, the same venue where the women will play the following day. The U.S. With a chance to make some noise here at the Olympics.
Okay, I have, over the years, as I have gotten older, I have tried to fight against being a curmudgeon or a grumpy old man or being cynical or negative. And to your point, this is something that we have not seen. Some people have not even been alive since the last time this happened. And so there is an element of celebration. But this is also coming off of, another introspective type of moment and an existential crisis as to what we are as a soccer playing nation and what our national teams are. And so when I look at this, we had talked before the tournament about how this U.S. men's under 23 plus the 3 overage players Olympic team, you take your chances against France, and they did, and they lost to a much better team. And then you should beat the other 2 teams in your group. So in essence, they have done what is expected of them, given the talent that they have, the pedigree that talent has. Some playing in the best leagues and the best teams in the world, the opportunities that this generation of players have had from a very young age, the resources, whether it's youth systems and fields and coaches and scouting and all the, equipment, all the different things that they have. And as I mentioned, the opponents that they are playing. So Mosse, am I being cynical saying, okay, I'm glad that you're out of the group, but you have really simply done what is expected of you ultimately? And is that being unfair to this group?
No, but we've seen U.S. teams not do what was expected of them. So I think this team at least deserves some credit for handling their business comfortably.
Well, then have we been wrong in expecting it? And so therefore it shouldn't have been expected that this team do this? Just based on history? I mean,
honestly, they made it easier than I thought it would be. The way they handled both New Zealand and Guinea, I thought was pretty impressive.
I mean, should we have expected the U.S. to come out of the group in the Copa America? The full U.S. national team?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I mean, and I know that they haven't done this in a long time. Would you, or anybody out there that's listening or watching, would you have rathered seen this version of the U.S. men's national team in the Copa America this summer?
Oh, sent the under-23 team to the Copa
Just this
America?
term, because we still have the 3 overage players, right? So Mihailović is kicking ass right now, and Walker Zimmerman, and all these types of players, the Busios, players that have been in the national team. Are they, in terms of the fight, in terms of the emotion that this has evoked in you, obviously, for getting out of the group and what they've done, would you have rather seen this team?
No. I know the Copa America went the way it went, but your best bet in that tournament was still to send your strongest senior team with the likes of Pulisic, McKennie, and company.
So this team would have done worse.
Well, it's hard to do worse, but I don't know. It's
all right.
Tough to visualize. I mean, it's still a mostly under 23 team going up against older players, so I'm not sure how that would have translated.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, to your point, I think most people listening and watching probably agree. But I do think that those that are watching, and not everybody that watched this summer is watching, and it's not even close in terms of the Olympics, but I do think that people that are watching this and saying, hey, this is nice. This is what we had kind of hoped to feel in Copa America relative to the U.S. team. We got the exact opposite, where they're doing something. And yeah, to my point, yeah, they might be just living up to what we expect of them. But again, it hasn't been done in a while. And again, it's coming on the, right on the heels of an epic failure of the full team in Copa America. And so I'm going to hold off my curmudgeonly type of reaction to this. But I will say, if they go through Morocco in the knockout stage, a team that is going to be playing in Paris, I think it's going to be absolutely the favorite. I think it's going to be overwhelmingly Moroccan in the stands. if they go through that, now you've caught my interest even more.
Back in 2000, the U.S. finished 4th. They lost to Spain in the semis and then lost to Chile in the bronze medal game. They could face Spain in the semis here. If they get past Morocco, it would be either Spain or Japan in the semis. Spain actually lost their last group game to Egypt and finished 2nd in their group, which was a bad break for the U.S. You would have rather Spain on the other side of the bracket. The interesting development is that Morocco ended up topping Group B. They beat Iraq 3-0. Argentina beat Ukraine 2-0. Morocco and Argentina finished level on points, goal difference, and goals scored. It came down to head-to-head. I said to you on that very first day that home Morocco-Argentina Michigas with the goal being disallowed 2 hours later, that could end up impacting the U.S., and it did. It ended up dictating who their quarterfinal opponent is. It's Morocco rather than Argentina. Argentina face host France in Bordeaux. What a match that's going to be.
Oh, my goodness. And that first game, obviously so many ramifications from that. All right, well, so when are these games? What's happening?
All 4 men's quarterfinals are Friday. All 4 women's quarterfinals are Saturday.
Okay, so Morocco, USA, 9 a.m. Eastern time, so 6 a.m. here. We're going to have to get up early to check that out, but that would be fun. And, again, last time you said U.S. had an opportunity to play for a gold medal when it comes to the men was 2000?
Last time they reached the knockout stage of an Olympics was 2000.
2000. I worked that tournament. Myself and Andres Cantor in English. His first time working in English. It was amazing.
I was actually looking at that U.S. roster today. You had Brad Friedel as one of the overage players and Tim Howard. That was quite the 1-2 punch goalkeeper.
Wow.
You had John O'Brien on that team. So obviously Landon Donovan. So some names that 2 years later would factor in the 2002 run to the World Cup quarterfinals.
Okay. Since we won't hear from State of the Union until after these games, who do you have in the who are you picking? Morocco, USA?
USA.
Really? I am too. Japan, Spain.
Spain.
Okay. Egypt, Paraguay.
Don't have a great feel for that one, to be honest. Egypt have had an impressive group stage, so I guess I'll go with them.
Okay. And then France, Argentina. Oof.
That is a tough one. I'll pick France. They're at home. I think they'll get some nice home cooking from an officiating perspective, and that'll be enough.
I'll pick Argentina.
That interesting coaching matchup: Thierry Henry against Javier Mascherano.
That's right. Now we are in kind of rarefied air when it comes to the men's and women's situation here, right?
Correct. Only 4 nations reached the knockout stage of both the men's and women's Olympic soccer tournaments: the U.S., France, Spain, and Japan.
That's awesome. I saw the U.S. women's national team congratulate and kind of welcome from above, if you will, the U.S. men's team into that rarefied air of going on. Obviously, it's something that the U.S. women's national team do on a consistent basis, but for the U.S. men, as we just mentioned, it's it's fun to be there. And so let's hope that we continue on with both our men's and women's side in the Olympics and have success. You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.